Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Famer Bob Berry ruled Milwaukee's airwaves in the 60s and 70s. He spoke with countless musicians and celebrities over the years. Bob collected remarkable recordings of these encounters, which he's now sharing with the public. Here's Bob.
If ever there was an irreverent, spicy comedian, it had to be Buddy Hackett. Buddy was a nightclub comic, one of the biggest headliners in Las Vegas history. He also had some acting credits, including It's a Mad, Mad World, Music Man, and The Love Bug. Hackett made many appearances on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and Jack Paar. Buddy had palsy as a child, which caused his slurred speech and strange facial expressions. Did he ever appear nude on stage? I'll let him answer that one. On the radio, his recording of The Chinese Waiter was played many times.
Hello, buddy.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
All right. Is it freezing where you are?
Oh, it sure is. It's terrible here.
It's 76 where we are.
Thanks a lot.
We're in Las Vegas, and we're looking out the window at the golf course.
That's right. You're working there with James Duran now, huh?
We're closed tonight, and then I hope to come back here December 3rd.
And you're also doing celebrity sweepstakes?
Celebrity sweepstakes. It's really a fun game.
2-to-1 odds you can't answer this question. Who recorded The Chinese Waiter?
Buddy Hackett, 1952 on Coral, C-O-R-A-L, and Bob Seal was A&R.
Was that the first thing you ever recorded?
No, I don't think so. I think I made some personal things, on what I had a wire recorder. Do you remember wire recorders?
No, I don't remember those, buddy.
Yeah, well, I had a wire recorder, and I just made some personal things.
Did you write that? Did you write the Chinese Waiter?
Sure did. Wrote everything I ever did.
That was terrific. I still play that once in a while.
Well, thank you. I made it twice, so you might have the original one back in 1952, and then I recorded it again in 1958 on dot.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it depends which one you have.
Yeah, I have the original.
Oh, well, the first one was Carl, the second one was on an album for Dot, and, I forget the fellow's name now who was the head of Dot at that time. But he was a pretty nice guy.
You do any gambling when you're there in Vegas?
Well, I see, at the Sahara Hotel where I work, I'm on a license. In other words, I'm vice president of this hotel, and you're not allowed to. If you're on a license, you can't gamble in your own hotel.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I don't visit the other hotels.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, I don't have that habit,
in your shows, the people, I didn't get a chance to see. The last time I was there, you just left, and Tony Fields, I think, moved in at that time. And everybody said, oh, boy, he's really raunchy. He's really dirty. Do you feel that this material is necessary now for the Las Vegas group?
Well, first you have to find out if I agree with what they said. And, just because you just said that doesn't mean that I agree with that I am raunchy and dirty, as you just put it. However, anyone who said that didn't see the show.
Well, they claim that you even took your pants off at one point.
Oh, you mean did I streak?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, when streaking was in fashion, when it was in vogue, I streaked every night, twice a night. And I don't think that's raunchy or dirty. But when I first came into this world naked, everybody was glad. If I would have come into this world fully dressed, I think my mother would have been very disturbed.
Right. Buddy, I can't see you moving that fast, the streak.
Well, I move pretty fast.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. I can run a mile in 8 minutes.
What? Okay. What do you think the key to success is in comedy today?
Key to success in comedy, it's the same today it always was. If you say stuff and people laugh, that's success. And if they show up to see you. Now, if they show up to see you and they don't laugh, as long as you fill up, that's all that counts. And it depends on your personal feeling. How do you feel inside about stuff?
Do you still enjoy show business after all these years, or are you in it now just to make a few bucks? And I can't imagine you just being in it to make a few bucks anymore.
I have never in my life done anything that I didn't really like doing. I don't mean just like it. I love doing it. I never needed money. I always had a trade. When I first started to be a comedian, I was able to make more money as an upholsterer. Do you know? So, and I never threw my money away. I always did good with it, So I never needed the money. I've always been in it because I really like being out there. I like talking to the people. And I like the things I have to say. And it's going to be very difficult for you even to equate what I do unless you get to see me here.
Well, I'm gonna make sure the next time I come in
But
that
you really
sure
have to, and not just see me once, but like some guys say, which show are you going to catch, the first or the second? And I say, catch them all. Come every single night and every single show because you'll never see the same show twice.
No kidding.
That's right.
That sounds impossible, buddy.
It is not impossible. It is true, and I've taped every one of them. And I got them, and we pull out tapes from 6 months ago, and I listen to them, and I can't even remember some of the stuff that he said. It's so fantastic. It's like listening to some other guy, and I love it that way.
So, in other words, a lot of your stuff is spontaneous. It's not really written and prepared.
So none of it has ever been put on paper.
Gee.
The only way I do stuff is if I like what I'm saying, I remember it and say it again sometime. But that's the only way. I never put it on paper. The only thing I have on paper is the poetry.
Can you give us an example of some of your poetry?
Well, I'm looking around. Yeah, I got one here. It's a fairly new one. It's called Summer Love Affair. Want to hear it?
Yeah.
Well, it goes, I love you for your loveliness of face and shape and hands, the clear, sweet way you speak to me, your hair and windblown strands. I love you while other men envy our happy glances, and the tireless way our love triumphs over catty kid romances. I love you in our violence of stormy passion seas. I love you when you pinch at me through my slitted DVDs. You're all I always dreamt of as a child, a boy, and man. You're never less than perfect, even to an endless tan. I love you when you're next to me when the battle charge is over. Lying still, not speaking, just knowing you're my lover. I love each tender heartbeat and the tap-tap of each toe. The guy, the sigh expendable as you change from high to low. You're the greatest lover partner. In my arms are standing by. But I love you most because I know you won't cry when it's time to say goodbye.
That is really something else. Yeah, and you write this yourself, huh?
Naturally.
Yeah, terrific.
In fact, I'm looking at the original copy right here in my hand.
I didn't know you were into poetry.
Well, I have a big book of poetry out right now. It's sold 16,000 copies so far, and it's out about 2 months, called The Naked Mind of Buddy Hackett. And there's a picture of me naked on the cover.
Is that right? Do you live in L.A. or is your home?
I live in between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. I have a home in both places. And I have a son that goes to college here in Las Vegas. And I have 2 daughters that go to school in Los Angeles, see? So, we travel back and forth, and we all get together, and we all go places, and it's, my closest friends are my family, and it's a very tight group. We hang out together.
That's great. Do they come to the shows often?
Well, Lisa, the youngest, she's 14. She comes to Celebrity Sweepstakes whenever I do it.
How many shows do you tape at one time?
Well, I do 6 in one night, but I don't think everybody else does because I do all of them. See?
Oh,
all
yeah.
of the nighttime ones.
Mm-hmm.
When they do the daytime ones, the most they tape is 5 in one day.
So you don't have to come back for another 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's really a nice show. You know, I got on it accidentally. Someone called me to do it, and she was connected with the show at one point, and she was a widow of a friend of mine. And so I said, okay, because television to me is just either I like it or I don't make a living out of it, you know. And it's got to be a friendly thing. Then when I got there, I just fell in love with Myrna and Bert Sugarman and the rest of the people, and so consequently I just want to be part of it.
Well, for a lot of guys, I think television is necessary, but for someone like you don't need it to draw the crowds in Las Vegas.
Well, everything helps, you know. If you go on and look bad, you better get off. But I go on and look good.
Right.
You see, there's not too many people that are like a walking book of information like I am.
Listen, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Appreciate you taking time out, and we'll continue to watch Celebrity Sweepstakes, and we'll see you out in Vegas.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, Milwaukee. Oh, you make some good beer out there. This is Buddy Hackett. I'm out west, but when I'm in the Midwest, I stop in to see Bob Barry on WOKY. Milwaukee.
Bob Barry. Thank you for listening to Bob Barry's Unearthed Interviews. Be sure to subscribe and rate our podcast on iTunes or wherever you find your podcasts. You can find all the episodes at WisconsinBroadcastingMuseum.org. Check out Bob Barry's book, Rock and Roll Radio Milwaukee. Book sale proceeds support Angels Kids Fund and Donate Life Wisconsin. The preceding program was made possible by a generous contribution from Terry Barnes.